Um, Immediately following the match, Adam Cole came out. Adam Cole, bebe. I know Showtime, you are not familiar with Adam Cole as much because you are just getting back into the world of wrestling, and he has not really been here for the majority of the time that you have been here. He's been out. I guess he's getting close to being cleared again, or maybe he's not. I don't know. It keeps bouncing around. I think this is one of those fake news situations where they keep telling us one thing, even though it might be the other thing. Which then led to the return of MJF. This was a fired up promo. This was a situation where obviously shots were fired towards WWE. A lot of shots were fired towards WWE. He came out dressed like Triple H. He came out, called out Vince McMahon, like just straightforward. There was a lot of there were a lot of shots fired at WWE during this pay-per-view, just in general, and I don't know if I always agree with them, but we've said it before, and we'll probably say it again. There's no such thing as bad publicity, right? So maybe that's just where they're going for.
I dug this. I'm not. I know who MJF is. I've seen some of his stuff in the past, but like my time away was kind of his building MJF himself, as he said. So I'm excited about this. I want to see him come in like a wrecking ball and just absolutely like turn over the apple cart. I think AEW needs somebody like this. I would love to see him go head to head with the Elite because like I see that really elevating the storyline a bit. Because I feel like we'll talk about it later, but even the people that they added in with FTR, it felt a little just thrown together. Where I can see MJF starting to align with them and go their way, even though he's somewhere between a face and a heel. Like he's a tweener, definitely. I think he's definitely going to regret that tattoo one day because whatever that is.
The thing with that tattoo and him doing this has been kind of my whole thing about MJF. Whether he's leaving, whether he's staying. I'm going to say this, and I don't mean this in the harsh tone that I'm going to have to say this in, but he's a big fish in a small pond in AEW. AEW is very clearly the number 2 promotion. It's not, and that's not a knock on them. That's just where they're at in the world. If he had the opportunity to go to the WWE, I could see if the situation is such that they were going to make him go to NXT first. I understand why he would not have done it. He is not at an NXT level. He is a main roster guy. In fact, the second he comes in, he should actually be pushed directly towards the main event as far as I'm concerned. He should be pushed directly towards Cody because of their history and their background. I also understand how WWE views things a lot of times, and that's if you were never on WWE television, our fans don't know you. This is a situation where that is not true. There are certain guys that, regardless of what you think, just because they've never been on WWE television, they are not, like, they are still well known. AJ Styles was that guy, and I think they realized what happened when they had him debut at the Rumble, and he got this huge ovation, and everybody was waiting for him. I think MJF would be a situation like that where when he debuted, everyone knows who MJF is. And they could have pushed him right into, almost immediately into something with him and Cody, or him and, like, something with, like, him and Randy and then him and Cody or something like that. And I think it would have worked.
He was perfect for that surprise Royal Rumble entry. Like, there's always one, right? There's always one person you didn't expect to be here, or everyone knew that they were going to be here and they blow up when they do show up. And then you give him a year of upper mid-card stuff to main event. He doesn't need a NXT stop, I agree with you. But they do it with everybody. They even did that with Joe when he got released and they brought him back. So it's just something that they do. I can see him not wanting to do that. I can see that fiery promo coming from him actually having bad negotiations with WWE of seeing himself in one light and them seeing him in a different light, kind of the stuff you're talking about right now. And that's what fueled some of that fire. And then he's like, I'm not going there. They're a bunch of jerks, or worse language, because he used whatever words he wanted to use in that promo.
He used all the words.
He used all the words.
He used all the words. One of the things, maybe this is why I'm as high on MJF as I am. First of all, I think he puts on phenomenal matches. Showtime, I know he's kind of been gone since you've been back in the fold.
Yeah.
I know we still have access to some of his older stuff. If you can get a chance, watch some of his older matches. They are very good. His match with Brian Danielson. Sorry, we all know who I'm talking about. He does an hour-long Iron Man match with Danielson, and this is me saying this being 42 years old and having seen a ton of them. It might be the best Iron Man match I've ever seen in my life. It's better than Brett and Shawn, and I know what I'm saying on that one. It is better than that. I think it's still better than Triple H and The Rock. I think it's better than Lesnar and Angle. Like, I'm throwing out names out there, and they still did it better. So it's one of those matches that, like, it was just before he left, and it was damn good. So his ability to wrestle is one thing. I respect and also cringe a little bit on his promos because he is an awesome promo. But being the fan of people who I am a fan of, and we went over that already, he has an air of Shane Douglas about him. It used to be that he had an air of Roddy Piper about him. I feel like he's leaning a little bit more towards that franchise Shane Douglas, where I said this in our favorite wrestlers episode. I've never seen somebody outside of Shane Douglas who can build a bridge and burn a bridge in the same promo. And I think MJF might be getting to that point where it's cool if what you're trying to do is completely build AEW up to the point where it is such a powerhouse. And that's the point where I think that's what he wants to do. I think, and like you said, I think maybe the negotiations didn't go as well. And now that came through in the promo because he's never shied away from doing stuff. I also like the fact that when he's a heel, he's a true heel. He doesn't sign autographs. He doesn't do stuff. He doesn't do stuff like that. In fact, when he works tables at shows that are there for autographs, someone comes up for an autograph and he flips them off. I dig that. Like, you're a real heel. You actually try to get real heat and try to actually get booed. I'm big on that. I think this is a big return. I think it opens up their storyline capabilities huge by having arguably their another huge star in there. It gives Will Ospreay someone else to work with. It gives all of these guys someone else to work with to build a storyline. But like I said, I think this is big, and I would like to. I think Showtime, you definitely need to go back and watch a little bit more MJF stuff, just because he was coming up while you were not really watching.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I came back probably around the beginning of this year for this show.
I think that's like right after he was.
Yeah, he got hurt right before he dropped the belt to Joe at the November December timeframe.
I think so, something like that. Yeah.